This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, Nutan.
Hi Rahul, I was just typing. I'm not able to hear anything. Seems
I can hear you. Uh, I'm just waiting for Kanchana and others. Can you just check with her?
with Kanchana.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Okay, I can see. Hi, Kanchana.
Hi Raghu.
Okay, I think we can get started. We know like Mohit is watching recording, so others we are not sure they are joining. So yesterday, last 2 3 days, like we started on the code template, right? So we completed that part yesterday. So today, instead of package level setting, I thought to explain you this advanced approval thing. So on Saturday Sunday we have relax time and we can explain at least this advanced approval package, right? So hi Srinivas, I think Srinivas joined. Okay. So basically, this is again like, right? So as I mentioned, like only package level setting, that is the topic I will explain maybe once we're done with this advanced approval, because advanced approval is very, we may need like 1 or 2 sessions for that. So these two both are a complementary topic from my side. So it's not like related to your CPQ syllabus. So these both are advanced approval, and this advanced approval I will completely explain 100%. So there is no issue. It will take 1 day or 2 days. It's very small package, so it's only some simple things. And Salesforce billing, we will take only simple 45-minute session. That will, we cannot cover everything. It's just basic introduction if I get time. Otherwise, advanced approval and package setting, these two things are the pending there. So I will start with advanced approval package today. So what is this advanced approval package? So you must work on the approval process in Salesforce, right? So approval process are basically to generate approval. For example, you added 2 products on the quote, you added more than 50% discount. So if you are adding more than 50% discount, you need your VP approval, finance approval, legal approval. So these types of approval you need as a sales rep, you need to submit that quote to approval. Once your manager or VP or finance department approves that particular deal, then and then you can go and book the order. That's the reason we need approvals. But we can use the standard approvals as well, there is no issue. But there are some, comparatively there are some advanced feature coming as part of this package. So this package is advanced approval is package name. It's similar to your Salesforce CPQ package, right? So if we are installing different packages, right, on Salesforce platform. Salesforce is your platform. On top of that, you install Salesforce CPQ, you install Salesforce billing, you are installing advanced approval package, you are installing Conga generator application, you are installing Copado application. So these are all the application installed on top of salesforce.com, right? So that is the one approval. This is not, this is related to CPQ, but this is like advanced complementary topic from my side. So what I'm trying to say, these things will, once we install that thing, And once we submit any code for approval, we can link that particular code to your advanced approval. So right now you can use approval process as well. There is no issue, but you need to write some code and then you need to code approval process, right? So you must work on or not, I'm not sure, but you can check on that advanced approvals as well, right? But for Salesforce CPQ, you have this button, submit for approval, right? Submit for approval. So this button you can link to your advanced approval or your standard approval process as well. It's up to your business and your company, right? So if you are linking to your standard approval process, you can write code and do that. That is Salesforce part. It's not nothing to do with CPQ. So it's standard Salesforce part. And you can link this submit for approval button to your advanced approval package as well. How to link that and all these things I am going to explain. So if you go, I already installed that package, but I will explain you how to install in your org as well. So if you go to the installed packages, you will see all these three packages. So right now you will understand, right? You can see Salesforce billing is installed already as part of packages, BCPQ, but I have installed advanced approval package as well, right? So what is this advanced approval package? How to install that? All these things I have already given you links. So if you go to this particular link, oh my God, this is need to activate. That's the reason I'm not able to change this. Let me check directly here. Install.steelbrick.com. Yeah, so this is the link actually, install.steelbrick.com. So here you will get all the packages. All the packages means Salesforce related, CPQ related, code to cash business related, all the software you will get on this link. So if you join any company and they are asking you to install packages related to your Salesforce code to cash business, all the upcoming releases, upgrades, all the packages are available here. Even if you want to install Salesforce CPQ first time, you can go to that Salesforce CPQ. This is the another package: Service Cloud for Salesforce CPQ, Adobe Sign for Salesforce CPQ, DocSign for Salesforce CPQ, Salesforce Billing, then authorized.net. I'm not sure about this, right? CyberSource, right? So all these packages, and advanced approval is one of the package. So all the packages and their links you can see here. So advanced approval package, latest Spring 21. You can see production link as well as sandbox link and their release notes as well. So each and every time, like winter 21, you want to upgrade, right? You can upgrade your organization. So if you're installing in production, you can click on production. Otherwise you can click on sandbox, similar to your Salesforce CPQ package as well. So CPQ as well, you can see this is my Salesforce CPQ package, right? So you can see production and sandbox link. So if you want to externally install that, instead of using link, let me click on the advanced approval package. So advanced approval, I want to install this in production because your all trailhead org are production orgs. Actually they are considering this as production org. Sandboxes means your latest. So you can go and log in with your sandboxes. So if you log in with this, you can enter your credentials, right? Once you install your credentials, it will start installing that package. You don't need to do anything there. So it will start loading. You just need to click on install. That's it. Automatically your package will install. But I'm just showing you. So now here it's showing me upgrade because the package is already there. If package is not already there, even it will display all same screen, but it will not say upgrade. It will say like install advanced approval, right? The screen is same. Only the thing is like if you already have that, you're upgrading to latest version. And if you don't have any package in your org, you're installing advanced approval. So you want to install for admins or all users or specific profile. Mostly you should install for all users. And once you click on upgrade, or if you already have this package, that is an upgrade button. Otherwise you will see install button. That's it. And it will start installing packages and it will complete. And once it is completed, you will get email that your package installation is completed, and then you will see the advanced approval package here. That's the only simple step. Even for Salesforce CPQ as well, if you go to that company, any company, and they want to install CPQ, click on production or sandboxes. Even if you click on the sandboxes, you will get the link where you need to add the sorry, my company's email address and everything. You will get all the links to install the packages. Any questions? I'm not sure previously you did any these types of setup, but it's like simple click, like just click on this and you can complete this activity today itself. I mean, once we're done with this session, you already have these PPTs. So go to this link, click on advanced approval production, and just click on install here. It will complete in 5 or 10 minutes. Just wait for 5-10 minutes. You will get one mail that your advanced approval package is installed. Good. So I'm just explaining how to do advanced approval setup. So we install package, then you need to do some setups actually, right? So we advanced approval requires several object, button, and settings so that it can work with Salesforce CPQ, right? So it's something third-party application. It's not like CPQ application, right? So you need to do some setup. So once you install the advanced approval package, it will enable you will have submit for approval button on opportunity. So this package is basically for opportunity object. So by default setup will come for opportunity object, right? But if you want to enable the advanced approval package like quote object or order object or any other object, you can enable this package for any object. By default, it is enabled for opportunity, but you can enable for quote, solution groups, discount, like which object you want to enable, you need to follow the same setup that I am going to explain. So I want to enable for quote object now. So what setup you need to do? You just need to add some buttons. You need to add the web pages they provided, and you need to set up those things first. Then you can go and use that package. So I will explain the setup for quote. Same setup you can use for any other object as well. Account object. You want to use the account object for advanced approval. So advanced approval is generic concept. You can use that package with any objects. It's not like just, but by default setup come with the opportunity object. You don't need to do any other setup. So let's say I want to do that setup for quote object. So what are the things you need to do? I have already explained here. Enable objects for advanced approval. So these are the steps. What you need to do, you need to create a field on the approval object. So I will explain step by step actually today. So my intention is like you should understand setup. Development is not difficult, but how you can enable the object for advanced approval. You need to go to the object manager, just follow these steps. Even you have these steps on you can refer from. So what is the name of object? What I have mentioned here, you just follow the step. Create a field on approval object. So approval is an object provided by Steelbrick. So the package what you install that has this SBAA name prefix, right? So we are calling this as a namespace. So for CPQ package, right, we have these packages. So CPQ package, if you got any new object, that is SBQQ underscore underscore, right? SBQQ. So for example, if you take check for the quote is a Salesforce CPQ object. So that's the reason you have namespace SBQQ. If you install advanced billing package, so billing package, if you have any field billing, I'm not sure billing we have any field. Yeah. So billing package, it start name prefix is BLNG. And if you install advanced approval package, if you check the objects provided by advanced approval package, those will start with the SBAA. So this is how you can identify as well. So go to approval object, and what they said, create a field. So what field they are asking to create? Create a field and make the field visible but not on the page layout. So data type of field is lookup, field name is quote and related to quote. So what you are going to do on approval object, you want to enable quote object for advanced approval. So what you need to do, you need to create one field. I already created that field here, so I will just show you. Quote field, right? So what is this field? Quote with the lookup data type. So already these things are provided here. Your field name, your data type, all these things are there, and just give the access. That's the simple step. You just need to create your field. So any new object you want to enable with advanced approval, create that field with lookup to quote object, right? Second step is create a pick list field on the quote object. Why? Because you are enabling this advanced approval for quote object now, right? So you need to go to back and quote object. We have one field actually, approval status. Why we need this? Because we want to track the approval status, right? What is the status of my approval? So this is the field I created. So it is pick list data type. You can create it and add the values. So what are the values they want to add? Pending, approved, rejected, and recalled. So what are these values? If you submit your quote for approval, it will be in pending state. Once it is approved state. Rejected means you rejected approval. Recalled means you want to again submit that season you recalled and again you want to submit that. So these are the 4 pick list value you want to add inside this particular field. So I added that values here: pending, approved, rejected, recalled. Good. This is one time setup, so you just need to go with the PPT and follow the step. That's it. This is one time setup. Then the third step setup is create a date field on the quote object. This field stores the submitted date for the approval. So the field name is submitted date and API name is this one. What is the use of this field to create on quote object? When you submit code for approval, what is the date when you submitted that? So that date can be tagged in the submitted date field. So I already created this field. So let me show you fields and relationship of quote object. So you can see submitted date. So when you submitted this code, right? So this is my submitted date and the data type is date. So this will this API name automatically advanced approval will track the when you click on submit for approval button, right? That date will be tracked. And there is one more field you need to create. That is the last step. Create a user lookup field on quote object. This field stores the user record for the user who submitted the code for the approval. So you need to create this submitted user field as well on quote object. So I created both the field, submitted user, submitted date. Submitted date means when you submitted this code for approval and who submitted this. Maybe Rahul submitted this, then my name will be there. So that is the reason lookup to user. So these both the data types are there. Any questions on this slide? Let me zoom this. Just follow the steps. That's the intentionally I added all the screenshot from Salesforce material. Good. Okay. Next step is you need to create one Apex class and related test class for that, because I will explain why we need this code. Is everything is on present on Google. So let me go and ask for the advanced approval package for Salesforce CPQ. Salesforce help, maybe this one, I think setting up. So they have provided all the steps, all the code. You need to just, because you want to enable this for code object opportunity, it's by default enabled. Any new object you want to enable, you need to follow the same step. You have this link actually advanced approval. So here we have release notes, patch notes, setting up advanced approval. Yeah. So it's similar actually. I will close this setting them. So we enabled object for advanced approval, right? How to enable that I explained in the last slide, right? Then the second step is like create a class, right? You have this code actually. So they provided this code. Just you need to copy paste. Yeah, for practice purpose, Nutan, we should install production, because your Trailhead org is production org. It's not like sandbox org. Practice purpose, you should install production. That's the reason I showed you that your Trailhead org is production org, not the sandbox org. So install the production package. So what you need to do next step is you can prefer this particular link as well. You can just enable object. So I have just taken the screenshot from here, nothing else, right? So you can see this, all these things, right? Pending, approved, submitted data. So we are still here. Then what you need to do, you need to create one Apex class in Salesforce. Let me show you that one as well. I am explaining each and every step because I feel I should explain advanced, even it is complementary topic, but you should have proper understanding, right? So, and I'm expecting to complete this setup tomorrow before the class, because we have only 2-3 sessions last pending, and I don't want to take that risk like you are not getting that particular package. So what you need to do, you need to create your own test class, sorry, Apex class. Create Apex class and give that Apex class name as code extension controller, and add the following code. You have this code is provided by Salesforce CPQ, so don't worry. Just need to create this class actually, code extension controller. So I may created already this class. Let me show you code. So just click on new button here and just add that code, right? So here I already created this code extension controller. So you can see inside that class, I already added the code provided by Salesforce CPQ. So just copy this code from here, right? Copy this code, edit and add your code here. That's it. And then next step is even similarly, you have test class for that, right? So test class as well. You can create test class name with the code extension controller test. So I have that test class as well. You can see test class is also I created. So this test class as well, you can create and add the similar code provided by Salesforce CPQ. Just follow these steps, right? So why we need that class? I am coming to that. Why we need that class? Because you want to call that class from button, and this class, this is calling your APIs actually. If you see here, is calling your APIs. So this is test class, not one. You can see it's calling your recall. You are calling recall API. Submitting, you are submitting code, right? So all these APIs you are calling. These are the Salesforce CPQ API, Salesforce Advanced Approval Package API. SBAA means Advanced Approval APIs. So I'm just explaining code as well, but you don't need that like that. That is the second setup, right? So we created class, Apex class, then we created test class. I just taken the screenshot, but to copy paste, better to open this link and do that. So let me give you this link as well here. Maybe feature, like you just need to copy paste this code from here, right? And the next setup is you need to create Visualforce pages for recall and submit for approval. So let me explain everything from here, right? So next step is just click on this. You need to create two buttons actually. So two Visualforce pages. Why we need Visualforce pages? Because the link is you are creating button. On that button you will call that Visualforce page, and that Visualforce page is calling your Apex class. If you are from development background, you will understand this setup. So our submit for approval button is calling your Visualforce page, this page what we are creating. That Visualforce page will call the class that we created, Code Exchange Controller, to create approval, to recall approval and everything. So what you need to do, you can create a Visualforce page that sales rep use when submitting a record for approval, right? So you can create this submit code Visualforce page. Just go here, Visualforce page. I already created, I will show you, but you can click on new and just create, right? Submit code. So this Visualforce page I already created. I copy pasted this code here, right? This is for submitting the code for approval. Your action you can see on submit. If you are from development side, you will understood better. On submit means when you click on submit for approval button here, right? When you click on submit for approval button here, it will call your Visualforce page, and this Visualforce page will call your class. That class will have APIs that will create your approvals, right? That is first Visualforce page. Next Visualforce page you need to create is recall, because this is for submitting code. Similarly for recall as well, you need to create that code, right? For recall as well. So two Visualforce pages you need to create. That's what I am trying to say here. So create Visualforce page for recall and submit for approval, right? I have already provided a link here as well, so don't worry. And once you have the Visualforce pages, now you need to create your buttons: submit for approval, recall approval, and preview approval. So these three buttons you have to create now on quote object. So let me show you that one as well, that part. So if you go to the quote object, you go to object manager, open quote object and click on buttons. So I already created those, so I will just show you submit. Sorry, submit for approval, right? Just create that button. Click on new button link. I will just show you how to create button, but I believe like you are from Salesforce background as well. So just create your button here. Maybe I can say submit approval, submit for approval, whatever, right? And here you need to create like detail list button, page button, because you are creating button, and you are, instead of giving URL, you are giving Visualforce page here, right? And what is the Visualforce page that we created? First Visualforce page is submit code, second is recall code. So you need to just select submit code from here. This is your submit code, right? And you can just save that. That is how you can you are creating button. So let me show you the button that I have created. So submit for approval, right? Submit for approval. This is the button I have created, right? So this button is actually calling your Visualforce page. That Visualforce page we already created. That Visualforce page is calling Apex class, right? If I open this button, you will see this. So this is submit for approval button. Let me edit that as well, so I can explain more, right? Your submit for approval, your detail page button, it's calling Visualforce page, and the Visualforce page name is submit code that we created as part of here. We created this submit code Visualforce page. This Visualforce page is calling your class, right? Similarly, you need to create another visual for another button. That button name is recall. Recall means you go to the buttons and link. Similarly, you can go to recall. I already created recall, right? So create another button with same setup. I will just showing here by editing these things, but it's similar setup. Just need to give the name, select detail page button and select your Visualforce page, and your Visualforce page name should be recall code, because we created another Visualforce page here for recalling code. And this is again calling your same class, but your method will be different on recall. So it will help you to recall your approval. Recall means you submitted code for approval, approvals are generated, but you want to recall those and start from scratch now again, right? You don't want to approve those, maybe some changes you made after submitting for approval, and you want to submit that code again. So you can use the recalling. So we discussed two things now. We created two buttons. One is submitting code for approval. So you can see here, submit for approval and recall approval as well, right? So recall approval, where is that? I don't see that button. Is approved. So 1 second. I can see submit for approval calculates. Maybe I will see that in Classic, but let me add that on Lightning as well. We can add those buttons on Lightning as well. So you will see that button in Classic. Maybe I had it on Classic. You have both the buttons you can add in Lightning as well as Classic. So if you go to the code, if you go to the any code, you, sorry, you will see all the buttons in Classic. So you can see submit for approval button that I have created. For that button, we are calling Visualforce page submit approval, and that Visualforce page is calling Apex class that we created. Similarly, recall approval, we are calling the recall approval Visualforce page. That Visualforce page is calling class. Similarly, you have to create another button, actually preview approval. What is the use of this preview approval? Preview approval means before submitting code for approval, I just want to check like, is this code is eligible for your approval? Means you just want to check like how many approvals are required for this code. So you can click on this, it will just show you like these many approvals are required, but it's not submitting. You need to submit, you need to click on submit, but preview is just to show you like how many approvals are pending, how many approvals are actually required for that. So that is the preview approval button. So how you can create that button? You don't need a Visualforce page for that actually. Sorry. So preview approval button is I have already created here. This one preview approval button, right? So what you need to do, they have given same steps here. So we created submit for approval button. You have the button name, label, content, Visualforce page name, right? Everything they have provided. Similarly, recall approval, we created this button and Visualforce page for that link. Similarly, preview approval. So for preview approval, you can create button, but you don't need Visualforce page. There you can use this particular URL they have provided. So this particular URL is again calling your APIs, SBA preview approvals. You just need to copy this thing, create your new button with the name of preview approval. I will show you. This is my new button created. So, right. So here I am saying URL instead of Visualforce page. I am saying URL, and I have just copy pasted whatever I have copied from there. Right. Nothing is there. Just copy pasted this URL they have provided. That's it. That's the only setup you need to do. And once we're done with that, these three buttons, submit for approval, recall approval, and preview approval, just add all these three buttons on your page layout. So on page layout, you just need to add those buttons, right? Otherwise, you will not see those buttons. So on page layout, you have these buttons, right? So I already added those buttons here. You can see submit for approval, recall approval, and all these buttons. But for Lightning, what you need to do for Lightning, you need to add those buttons here in this section, Salesforce mobile and Lightning experience action. So same button on mobile and Lightning action, you can add all the button again here. So submit for approval. So two buttons, because one is like a standard button. You don't need standard button. You need your custom button that you created. So I will add that button here, submit approval. Then what is the second name? Recall approval, right? So I will add that button here in the Lightning, so it will be available. And then their third button is preview approval. So this is the custom button. This is custom button again. preview. Oh, sorry, this is preview document, not preview approval. So I will add this preview approval. So I added this in the lightning section as well as classic section. So I should see that button in lightning as well now. But that's fine. You can use whatever you want. Let me switch to lightning. Just we are taking all the sessions in lightning. Right. So this is lightning and I should see all the buttons here now. So submit for approval, you can see, sorry, that standard button is also there. So if you ignore that, you have added these three buttons: submit for approval, recall approval, and preview approval. Right. If you click on preview approval now, what is the intention of preview approval? It should show me like if there is any pending approval for this particular code. We need to create approvals. How to create that? It's like part of next session or maybe in today's session as well, but it's taking time actually. Yeah. So I already created some of the approval for last batches. So that's the reason you can see there is legal approval and there is finance approval as well, right? So this is my first approval. This is my second approval, right? Approval 1, approval 2, and the name of approval will display like this: legal approval EMEA region, finance approval EMEA region, and it's assigned to Rahul, and your chain is legal chain. So these are the your, this is CPQ Smart enough. If you install that package, you will see the preview approval and you can click that approvals from here as well, or you can return to home, right? That is the use of preview approval. And then second button is recalling approval. Means I will explain you, like recall means once you submit this code for approval, it will create approvals for you, right? So once I click on submit for approval, for example, both the approval should be generated, because I can see like two approval. I will explain you how to create those, but at least you should understood the buttons, right? So I should see the, but in the related list, I should see those approvals are there, right? You can see the approvals are generated. This is done, this is done. So I will open the both the approvals. How to create approvals, there are another setup, but I will explain that. So this is my first approval, that is requested state. It is requested, it's not approved yet, right? And approver name is legal approval, and the name of approval rule is legal approval EMEA. Similarly, another approval is an assigned state, but it is for finance approval, right? So I will explain like all the statuses, why we need this approver assigned to approval chain, why we need these things. I will come back and explain that, right? But if you want to recall these things, right now you submitted this code for approval, that's the reason your approval status, where is that? This is your code status, huh? There is another field which we created as part of your setup, right? As part of setup, you created this approval status field, correct? So this approval status field has these many values. So if I search here our approval status field, which we created, right? So that is in pending state now, because you just submitted that code for approval. And if I recall those, the state of the approval, I mean your status should be changed. So your status is now, I'm not recalled, right? Because you recall that. These are the all status. And once you approve that, it will change to approved, and rejected means it will change to the rejected. So I will come back and explain how to create those approvals, but this is the all setup that we discuss. This is the three buttons which we created, page layout we created. So from here onwards, like 2-3 slides, we will discuss like how to create actual approvals, but I'm just taking pause and I'm just asking question to everyone, like any questions to set up these things. No questions? But anyways, there should not be any question, because it's just like setuping themes, follow the step provided by Salesforce CPQ, right? I'm just deleting these things to use the fresh code. Who is, to me it feels like we are going bit faster. We are not good in dev. Nutan, can you elaborate more on that? Like why you feel like we are going faster? I mean, these are the all copy paste things, right? If you, even if you
Exactly.
think,
I mean, conceptually, we understand, Rahul. Whatever
Mhm,
you are explaining, this is good. But when it comes to hands-on, right? Like
mhm,
we have approvals already in admin in Salesforce as such, right? But
Yes, yes.
I guess we are implementing advanced approval through package or through third party because we want to implement approvals for CPQ, right? And to achieve that, we are basically creating couple of buttons to submit approval and rollback through Visual Force pages, right?
Correct.
Now, this is good if we are very converse in terms of creating Visual Force pages, even though it might not be that complicated, might not be that difficult.
Mhm.
But we, at least for me, right, I am not very much comfortable with APIs as of now. So,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure about others, but um, for me, I mean, my point of view is like it's bit fast on in terms of how we are going for advanced approvals,
Yeah,
or you can
obviously
say
that.
a bit
Yeah,
advanced topic.
correct. Because this is the advanced approval, first thing. It's not like
Hmm.
simple app, it's advanced approval. So it will be like, but what I'm saying, this is no one, like most of the companies are not using this package. This is the complementary topic from my side. So what we need
Hmm.
to do, if they are not using standard approval processes that you are explaining, standard approvals, then
Hmm.
either they will use the standard approvals or advanced approval. Advanced approval is third party application. So if they
Right,
want to
and
use,
in
they will
most
use
of the
100%.
cases, correct. So in most of the scenarios, I guess companies might not be using standard approvals because, as you explained, right, for CPQ, if sales rep wants to get approval at quote level or at quote line level or even at opportunity level, then we will need advanced approvals, right?
No, on quote level as well, you can use your standard approval process. I'm saying standard
Okay.
approval process is Salesforce part, right? That part you can
Hmm.
use on any object. There is no limitations to use that. You can use on a code object as well. You need to write your own Apex clause to use the standard buttons and everything. You have that approach if you go through the Salesforce syllabus.
Then why we need advanced approval?
Correct. That's the point I am going to explain, right? So, Lance, let me create one approval first in advanced approval, and then you will get understood easily like what is the difference. That part we will discuss,
Okay.
obviously.
All right.
Advanced approval is
Okay.
providing something better. That's the reason it's like calling as advanced approval. But obviously, the
Hmm.
difference you will understood once we create at least one approval process by using standard advanced approval. So that part I'm
Hmm.
going right. So we need to create those rules that we are not calling approval process here. We are calling approval rule in advanced
Hmm.
approval, similar to your
Hmm.
advanced approval. So that part I will explain. But from the syllabus standpoint, if you speed is very high, then what my feeling is like you just need to go to that particular links and copy paste all these things to set up one time. This is one time setup. You don't need to worry
Hmm.
about these codes and everything, all the
Hmm.
APIs and everything. Even I don't know easily, right? So for example, if you take this example of this particular class, right,
Hmm.
who will go and check that class, right? You don't need to worry about that. That is the setup provided by Salesforce CPQ, this class,
Hmm.
right? I'm just explaining like
Hmm.
your code ID is not equal to null. It's calling your submit API, but what API is doing, we don't need to care.
Okay. So
Even
you're saying we
similarly,
just need to understand conceptually that, for example,
correct,
on submit, it's calling an API. We don't need to get into details of what exactly API is doing
exactly.
and where
Why
it
we
is
need
it.
that? Correct. Why we need that? Even I don't know what is this, because we are not we are a developer, so we don't need to understand this managed API. We need to understand our custom business. These are managed things. Managed things means it's coming from third party application. You don't have visibility. How you will understood these things? For
Oh,
example,
okay. We
class. You
don't
don't
have
have visibility.
visibility also. Now, Rahul, in future, if we get a requirement where we need to modify or make some changes to this API, what we will do in
No,
that scenario?
no. API cannot be changed, right? API in our standard API, you cannot change API classes. That is the Salesforce concept. Let me explain you
So then I
for.
would need to replace this API with something else, right? Because
You
if
need to create
my
your own.
objective is not met.
Correct. So API is something that you can call API based on your custom condition. That is possible, but you cannot change your API itself. If you want to change that, you need to take help from your Salesforce. You need to create your own API with the same code. They can provide you code if you have licenses, right? You have Salesforce Advanced
Hmm.
Approval license. They can give you some code. They can help you with that. to write your custom API, but you cannot change this API directly. Let me show you one Apex class so you will understood. So if you say namespace SBQQ, if you open any object, any class, you cannot change anything. You don't have visibility to that class. I mean, you don't have a code here. This is something coming from your managed package, right? So it's not like advanced approval, any CPQ package, any package you are installing. If it is packaged, if you see this symbol, this arrow and this means like it's coming from third party. It is managed. It managed means you cannot change anything.
The third
If you
party
open
will
any,
not expose their source code, and so
correct,
we can't modify it.
correct. So even if you check SBAA means if you open this approval API, right? This is approval API. You cannot change. So even it's calling this class is managed, meaning that you may only edit certain attributes. You cannot change all these things. You may edit means if you have visibility. Now you don't have visibility here. You cannot edit. If you click on edit, nothing will happen, right?
Correct.
Nothing will happen. You'll
But
get
this is,
blank
I
class.
mean, this is good, Rahul. Now, I feel comfortable, but I was just voicing what others might also feel, right? Um,
Mhm.
for example, Kanchana, you can also provide your inputs if you feel like this is uh, going a bit faster, because it depends, Rahul, on how much knowledge we have in terms
Correct.
of admin or
Salesforce.
developer
Correct,
skills.
correct, correct. Obviously that will matter. That's the reason I said you need development knowledge to understand these classes. But at least for now, it's just point and click. You just need to create classes. You don't need to worry about
Hmm.
if you are not from development background, that's fine. You just need to copy paste and enter there. But one thing you need to understand, if you go to the code object, you are creating button. That button is calling your Visual Force page, and Visual Force page is calling Apex class. At least these things, if you understood, then you can create
Hmm.
button. On that button, you can create Visual Force page, and then on that Visual Force page, you can create your class. At least these three things, if you understood, that's enough for advanced approval. I'm not saying if you are a good developer, then you need to start
Hmm.
learning Apex classes, Visual. That is separate discussion. But for advanced approval, you don't need that knowledge,
Right,
because
right.
if you follow
Hmm.
properly, they have given all the steps: creating field, creating pick list field, creating date field. I don't feel like this is difficult. Only the part it's confusing to you is Apex class, but even they provided like how to go to that Apex class. Create Apex class, just enter this code, create test class, enter this code, and then you need to create buttons. And that button as well, you need to create Visual Force pages. Anyone
Right,
has
Rahul.
any questions? Yeah, I can see Kanchana, Srinivas and Tejasri also there today. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise. But this is, I am again repeating, this is advanced approval. Most of the companies are not using. I am taking this because I just want to add new more point in your resume. It's not like CPQ syllabus as well, but something I want to share more with you, all of you. And it's not difficult as well. I mean, that's the reason I'm saying use your next 20, 12 hours, 13 hours to set up these things and come up with your question tomorrow. I'm here to do the setup, because setup is very important. Once you understood setup, it's one time setup, but it's very important. And it's not that much difficult if you follow the correct step from first point to last point, right? And you can add this in your CV that you are having good experience on advanced approval package as well. So that is the thing I'm just trying to explain you all, right? Okay, so if you have today, do you have more minutes today? Because if we can take next 30 minutes, then I can complete this complete topic as well, like approval rule conditions, chains and smart approvals. It's not like bigger things, but if you have time, otherwise we can start on tomorrow as well. It's okay. What do you think? Perfect. Nutan is ready. Like if your others are ready, like if I start with this, if I start with this, I want to finish this approval rules, because these things are, it's very simple. You just need to write similar to your price rule or product rule. It's very simple. So let's start. how much time it takes. We at least we have 15 minutes or regular time. If it take more time, we can, because my intention, if we complete these things, when at least today's session, tomorrow's sessions we can use for some other things, right? So that is my intention, and most of the things we covered. And tomorrow, but tomorrow what I am expecting, at least complete 10 slides. This is mandatory for me. Why I'm forcing this? Because you should feel comfortable to install packages. Same setup like CPQ, you don't have this setup. CPQ, you directly go to that link and install that package. That's it. But advanced approval, you need to do, if you want to enable new object, just follow that step. Okay, so let's build new approval today. I think Kanchana is saying couldn't refresh before coming for the session. Oh, sorry, you are not getting recordings.
Actually, we are getting recordings, Rahul, but only on the morning. Even I waited till 11 o'clock in the night, but we are not getting the record. Yeah, only morning, and morning will be busy and like
Yeah, I
uh,
understand. Vinayak, you there? Vinayak?
हाँ सर, यस सर.
अरे रिकॉर्डिंग सेशन खत्म होने के बाद भेजो ना जल्दी. आई मीन ईच एंड एवरी डे.
ठीक है, एक सेक्शन है. ओके सर, आई विल ट्राई. ओके सर.
Yeah. Okay, Kanchana, at least let's wait. Like our admin should send that. I will raise this again to Shital, but let's see. Obviously, I agree that it should send. Like this recording will be available in 30 minutes on GoToMeeting, so it should be shared with you next hour. For example, we ended at this time. For example, 10:30 p.m. 11:30 you should get that recording. But let me talk with them again. But I think Vinayak will take care today at least. If you got same thing tomorrow, I will escalate that with Shital. Let's see.
Thank you, Rahul.
Yeah, no worries. So what I'm trying to do now, my requirement is I want to write the approval rules. So if once I install that package, right, you will get one object here, tab here, approval. So if you see approval chain, request, rules and variables, so you'll get all these things. If you go to the rules, so once you install that package, then and then you will get these things. Otherwise, you will not get these things. I already created these two. And even Vinayak, Vinayak, you there? Maybe I can talk offline with them. Yes, date is very important. Just add date to each and every recording, so it will be very easy to sort those out. Yes. I will talk with them separately. Nutan, yeah. Okay, so what I was saying, approval rules. So that is the first object is advanced approval. Don't worry, like don't think that much big in deeper level, but at least that's this I'm saying it's just adding value to your resume, advanced approval package. So just think high level, but I'm explaining deeper level, but at least from your side, like don't take that much pressure. So approval rule, what you need to do, similar to your approval process, you need to create your approval rule. So I created this finance approval, legal approval. You can create your own approval as well, right? So you can click on new, you can create your approval rule. You can give the name of your approval, right? I'm again creating finance approval. I don't have other name other than finance and legal, right? You can make this active, right? Otherwise, let me create, we created finance approval EMEA. Let me create for, can you give me the approval name if you know anyone? Generic approval, give me generic approval name, not that much space. I already have legal, finance, both the approvals here. I can see VP approval just for our understanding. Okay. HR approval we don't need nothing. But VP approval.
It was just suggesting randomly. God.
No, we can see VP approval, VP approval. I'm just saying VP approval, maybe region I will say APAC. For APAC we want this. So you can activate this approval and you can select target object actually. You need opportunity or quote object. So why we can see target object here? Because we added this SBQQ, this pick list value. Which object you want to enable this, opportunity or quote? If you want to enable for any other object in future, you can just add your API name of the object. So right now it's for quote. There is approval step actually. Approval step means this is first step or two step or third step approval, right? So you can add that particular step here. And who is your approver? Approver means who will going to approve that, correct? So you can create your approver here. So right now you have this approval, but you can create your new approver as well. To create new approver, you can click on new approval link. It will give you the approval link, right? Who is approver here? This is VP approval. So we can see like VP approval group, right? So this is your approval group, and who is going to approve that? Maybe I can say, for example, Rajiv is my VP. So this is the user who will going to approve my code. To, similar to you in Salesforce, actually we have groups and queues, right? But in advanced approval we have approvers. Approvers means to who will approve that. And if this particular user is not there, who is your next approver? Oh, sorry, if once Raju approves, who will approve next? After Raju, if you want to approve someone else as well, you can add that. And there is one more thing actually. For example, Rajiv is on leave, right? Rajiv is on leave from few dates, right? For example, from 13 to maybe till 20. Who is your delegated approval? Delegated approval means for this particular period, instead of Rajiv, those approval will go to your delegated approvers, right? Maybe for example, Nutan is my VP's boss. So Nutan will be added here user. So automatically for this date only, it will be delegated to this particular person. So this is the beauty of, now you will understood the difference between standard approvals and advanced approval. So this particular approver object, why we need approver? Approver means who is going to approve your record. It's Raju user, or your next approver, or your delegated. Delegated means for this particular period you are giving some approver here. Even you can provide your group ID as well. So in Salesforce we have group, right? If you are aware on Salesforce part, right, this is very important. What is the public group, right? Public groups are Salesforce. We have public groups. So what is these public groups? So that's the reason you can start learning admin as well. So you can create your own groups here in Salesforce. So you can give that name and you can add your roles, responsibilities, users, multiple users here, right? And you can use this group. You can learn these things later on, right? This is Salesforce part, so I will not explain more now here. So these groups you can create and just copy that ID and paste it here. So even you can use the group ID here. Unanimous means what? If approver is a group, check if all members need to approve this. So for example, you entered group, right? That is public group. Just learn on public group from Salesforce side. If you have two person added here, Rahul and Raju, so you want and you use this group here, correct? If this particular approval is sent to this particular approver, then from all the members of the group should approve that, Rahul and Raju, or only one person approved, then you can say like this is approved. What you want to do? If you want to do both the persons should approve that code, then you can check this unanimous. Means you cannot say like all the person from this group should approve that, then and then your approval will be approved. That is the use of that unanimous. You got it, right? So if I say someone is asking questions, right, Nutan? Approver, delegated approver can be based on role hierarchy. No, it's not mandatory actually. It's not mandatory. This is not like Salesforce. You can give any delegated approver. It's junior as well or senior as well. It's not based on role.
Basically, Rahul, I wanted to understand, like, for example, this user Rajiv is absent. Okay, and we
Okay.
had not assigned any group ID. There's no group assigned. Okay, now we want to delegate it to someone else from some other department.
Okay.
Okay, so there are two possibilities. Either I can assign delegate approver based on the role hierarchy, right? For example, manager of Rajiv, right?
Yes.
Or if let's say his manager is also on leave, he's on vacation, right? And I want to assign it to HR.
Okay.
Okay. So what are the two bits? Like I'll need to go into the system and again update delegate approval that time, or is there a way like can we have a group or something like in group ID we can mention based on role hierarchy, right? You have shown
Correct.
us few seconds. So in delegated approval, can we mention it based on role hierarchy?
No, that's the thing actually. So here the delegated approval is not based on your roles and hierarchy, like how much you are there, manager, VP, then HR. It's not like that. Delegated approval can be anyone, so you can give that for that particular specific reason. So advanced approval is not supporting roles and hierarchies here. If you want to go with the roles and hierarchies, you can create your group, and there you can provide your roles and responsibility. So who want to approve, who will be there, right? But system doesn't know, right? For example, director, you assign this to director level, but system doesn't know like director is present or now. And in advanced approval, you don't have any mechanism to tell that that particular director is not present. But you can
Because
achieve
it's a
that with
third party application.
correct. But what you can do instead of that, if you have user, and that user is only that particular person is not present, in that time only that Raju can create delegated start date, end date, and in that time you can just for this particular period they can assign it to the someone else, maybe Raju's manager. You can enter that name. This is the ability only Salesforce Advanced Approval provides.
Right. Okay. All right, Rahul. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, so that is the approver object. Just keep in mind, approver means if I save that now, Raju, it will go to the Raju for approval. So instead of Raju, I will say my name because it will create difficulties to approve because I don't have access then if I am assigning that to Raju, right? So I will assign it to myself now. Okay, so you created your approver for your approval rule. I am on approval rule. I am creating approval rule. I create a target object. Your step is 1, and you assign this approval to this one. Why we need approval chain now? What is this approval chain? Okay, approval chain means you have chaining. Chaining means you want to assign, you have 3 approvals, for example, VP, EVP, SVP, and then HR. I have 4 approvals. Okay, first approval is assigned to VP, then your EVP approval will be approved, then your SVP approval will be approved, and then HR approval will be approved. So all these approval will should be from same chain. So automatically what will happen, it will generate, for example, let's take example, you have 4 approvals, VP, EVP, SVP, and HR. All these approvals are assigned to the same chain, right? Once we submit code for approval, it will create 4 approvals, VP, EVP, SVP, HR. But you cannot directly approve HR. HR cannot approve till VP approves it, EVP approves, and SVP approves. So that is the chain. Chain means you cannot directly approve. It will go step by step. You need to approve VP approval, then second approval can be approved, EVP. Once EVP approval is approved, then SVP can be approved. Once SVP approval is approved, then HR can approve, right? So that is the approval chain. Chain means it is just common thing. It will just create chain for your approvals. That is we are calling as sequential approvals, if you remember on the Salesforce side. So how to create chain? You can click on new approval chain. There is nothing. You just need to give your chain name. So I will say like temporary chain. I'm just nothing is there, and your target object is code. That's it. You don't have anything here. You just need to save that. So what will happen if you use same chain with? I will create another approval and I will show you like VP. I will create VP and EVP. EVP approval cannot be approved before VP. So VP is your first approval and EVP is your second approval. But EVP cannot approve that till your VP approves. Correct? So that is the part you can handle with the approval chain. I will come back to that. I will create another approval for EVP and we will assign same chain there. And we'll see the results on code object. I will show you that. Then the next thing is condition. You can provide some conditions to your approval rule. I will explain you that, right? And there are some request template actually. You can provide your templates actually. You can create email template. And what is the request template? What is the recall template? And what is the approval template? So these are the all template. Template means email template. Just learn from Salesforce side. These are most of the parts are from Salesforce admin side. So I cannot go and explain now, but this is classic email template. You need to create your template and that template can be used here. So automatically when you are requesting this to approval, if when you submit the approval, some content will go, it will send email, right? And that email will have this template, all the content. When you're recalling, it will send email to your approval that your approval is recalled. And once it is approved, it will use this particular theme. Once you reject, it will use these things, right? And there are some approval recipients, like, so when you submit this code for approval, for example, I submitted this code for approval, whom should I inform that this is submitted for approval? You want to submit this for record owner, record created by, or initial submitter? Just take this as high level. This is different package, right? You don't need like deeper level knowledge, but I'm just explaining each and every field. Approval recipients means whom should I inform that this is submitted for approval. Maybe record owner means who created this record, code record. Do you want to inform to them? Record created, who created that, and initial submitter, right? Similarly, once this is rejected, whom should I inform? Yes, this is your approval is rejected. Who created that or who submitted that, right? And there is one more thing actually. You can call this approval between some dates. Maybe this approval is only for the particular period. Maybe for 3 months I want to submit this for VP. After that I don't need this approval. Maybe some conditions in your company. So you can add the effective date, right? Effective start date and effective end date. So maybe from 13 to 2nd I want to have this approval effective. So you can do that one as well, right? I will save this. I will VP approval, right? So this approval is created. Any Nutan, do you have any questions? You are saying so. Yeah, I'm just taking pause because this is all about approval rules, and then we'll discuss like next things as well.
Right, Rahul. So I have 2-3 points. One is approval step, right? So at this field, we are just mentioning at what step of approval process we are in. Correct.
Correct.
Now, let's say if I have 3-step approval process, so
Okay.
there is no field I can see on this screen where I can mention numeric 3 to signify that we have 3 level of approvals in
Okay.
this process, right? Now,
Okay.
what I can understand is to achieve that, we will actually need to create 3 approval rules.
3
Is
approval
that
rules having same chain. Having same
same
chain.
chain, right? Same
And you
chain.
need to provide the
Okay.
steps as well. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. And now my second question was, so if you scroll it down, right? This is screen. If you can scroll it bit further. Um, yes, I guess this much. This is okay. Okay, so email notification where we can we approval recipients is there. Okay. So basically this question is coming from a screen a few seconds back. You were showing that we can inform who is the initial submitter, and if this gets rejected, we can also inform about it, right? Now,
Correct.
basically my question was, if it gets approved, then how will I inform to the next level approver? Basically, at this we can say, okay, initial approval recipient is initial submitter, and he will be intimated that this has been submitted for approval. Good. Once it is approved, basically the next level approver should get a notification saying that this has been submitted for your approval. So how
Yeah,
will
I
it?
think that is really good scenario, but I don't think like advanced approval is supporting that, because actually what's happening there, I will explain you that 3-step approval actually. So you'll at least 2-step approval we can explain. So what it does, if you have 2-step approval or 3-step approval, VP, EVP and SVP, for example, it will create approval, 3 approvals. It will submit first to VP, second to EVP and third to SVP. But they will get error to approve that, and even the status they can check there. I will explain you, but there is, as per my knowledge, there is no functionality like VP approved and you get some notification, EVP will get notification. There is no such functionality actually in advanced
So
approval.
they will not get any email notification about it?
So those users will get notification at first time only. Second time, I mean first time, what we are doing, it will create VP, EVP, SVP, 3 approvals. 3 approvals will get notification that you got 1 approval and you need to approve that. But when they go and approve that, they will get error message that you cannot approve, but because still VP approval is
Pending
pending.
for.
But what you are saying, that is really good scenario, but I don't think it's possible with the advanced approval actually. And even standard approval process, it's not possible.
Right. But in a standard, then we can apply triggers or something, right? What we will do with
Yeah,
this?
customization we can do. I mean, even advanced approval, we can do any customization, like this is any approval is approved and there is any pending approval, you can notify them. That is the single criteria, right? So, I mean, you can do that by custom adding code, but Really, that is good scenario, but I'm not sure. I mean, based on my knowledge, this is not supported actually. You can use this. Your standard approval is not supporting. You need to write your custom code. If there is first approval is approved and there are multiple approvals are pending state, you can notify them. That is the thing you need to do with the Apex class and writing email related classes. You need to send email through Apex actually, not through any other system.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming, any more questions?
No, that's
Um,
it. That's
yeah, Ragul, like this is regarding to the delegate approver. Like we have seen that field in the delegate approver in that approver object, but also we'll create user with delegate approver if they have someone else in the delegate approver in the user level, and if they have someone else in this one, will there be any confusion, or the approval process will take delegate approver from that approver object only?
I think I am confused. So what you are saying, if you have approver right now, Rahul is the approver. But I'm saying for this date to this date, I have one delegated approver. Okay, till now I understood.
Yeah,
From here, can you explain? Yeah.
yeah. But while creating user, there is a field called, there is a section called approver setting. There we can assign delegate approver and manager and all for a particular user. So, for example, for you, there may be someone else as a delegated approval while creating you as a user. But here, if you are giving someone else, will there any like confusion between this delegated approval and that one, or the system will take only the delegated approve from this field, this record?
Yeah. So that the field from the user object, that delegated approval. So that field is used with the standard approval process. That will not confuse with your advanced approval delegated approval. So Rahul
Okay.
CPQ has delegated approval at user level. That means that maybe your manager or anyone else, that will not confuse you to your this advanced approval. Advanced approval will take precedence from here.
Okay. Okay, and also like there is no field update or outbound message in this approval process, no, that are in advanced approval process like the standard one.
Yeah, there is nothing actually, but it will take care of sending the. That's as I'm saying, like if you give the templates to the user, like whom should you assign,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
those
I
will.
understand. Like yeah, the sending email is there, but not the field update like the standard one, right?
No, there is no field updates here, same like standard process. But it will, I mean, it will take care of updating your fields, but only the supported fields. I mean, supported fields means your approval process, right? Approval status will be
Mm.
updated. Where is that?
Okay, only that field, yeah.
Correct. Only that field will be updated. All other fields, like similar to your standard approval process, we have their field update. That is not supported here.
Okay, Rahul, thank you.
So this way you can compare as well, like what is the best approach, right? So you can compare standard approval process, your field update is not supported. So in that case, like you can say like, I can go with the standard approval process, but somehow like here you have more things, right? Uh, you can see like multiple things, anonymous or delegated approvals for these particular dates. We don't have that functionality there. So these types of things are here. You can use those.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? So let me actually deactivate my all these other approvals, finance and legals, those I created as part of last patch. And I will use only the VP approval, and then we'll use the one scenario that Nutan explained, like STEP approval, right? So that one also I will explain so you'll understood better. So if you are mentioning in resume, you should have at least, I'm not saying high level, I already explained in deeper level, right? But don't worry like about if any field is missed there, that's fine. So we create a VP approval, right? And we have not added any condition there. Even you can add a condition here, approval conditions. What is this approval condition? If you want to run this approval rule for renewals, right? You can add your index, like this is your first condition. You can test the amount is greater than, maybe you can say greater than 100 or $1,000. You can only, in that case, you want to run this particular field. So you can check the tested field. You can check the summary variable, sorry, approver variable is the concept there. So I will not go to that detail because that is not required right now. So but filter type, you can add the field value or variable similar to your product rule, right? So you can give the field, you can check this amount with your any field, or you can give the value, that is the value, and you can give the variable. Variable means this variable similar to your summary variable, they have approval variables in CPQ as well. So this is how you can write your own conditions. So for example, some of the approvals you don't want to write run for the renewal business, only those needed for new business. So you can create your approval condition where you can select your code type equals to new, only that time VP approval should be generated. So you can write your conditions as well. That is the one part actually you can use that, right? So let me go to code and let me refresh this code. So I should only see now VP approval. So how to check your existing approvals? I have that button, right? Preview approval button. So if I click on preview approval button, I should see the preview approval button as VP approval, right? I can see VP approval APAC and it's assigned to Rahul because I have the user is Rahul, approver is Rahul, right? And it is your step, only one step approval is. You can submit from here or you can return to court and you can submit from here as well, right? You can submit from here as well. So if I submit now, let's explain this simple scenario and then we'll go to the stepwise approval as well. So once we submit that, your approval status will change to, where is that status field? Yeah, your approval status will automatically change to pending and you will see approval is created into the related list, right? Your approval is created here. So what is the name of that approval and everything you will get here, right? Your approval name is VP approval. It is assigned to this particular chain and this is the approval step and which it is for quote object. Who is your approver? VP approval group, right? So all this assigned to Rahul. Even that particular Rahul person, now this is the functionality again. Again, Rahul can reassign actually, right? So you have reassign button or you can change this assign to. Whom should we assign? I don't want, like, I am not the approver, correct approval. If you want to assign to my manager, you can go and assign this actually from here as well, right? You want to go, but this is specific to your transaction. It's not like actually your approval rule. This is specific to your approval. So you can actually reassign that. And if you approve that, your status is requested now. You submitted this for approval. It created approval record and it check your status as requested. You can have multiple status here: requested, assigned, approved, rejected, and revoked. So what is this requested? You just requested. Once you approve that, it will change to approved. Rejected means it is rejected. Revoked means recalled. And assigned means something for I will explain in 5 minutes. Like that is used for stepwise approval, right? If you have 3-step approval, first step will be in requested and assigned, other will be in assigned state. So I will explain that. But right now it is requested state. If I go and approve that, your status will change to requested to approve. If I go and approve that, it will ask you to add comments as well. You can add your comment. I will add this comment. This is all screens are from advanced approval. So once it is approved, your status approve, your quote status, it's not coming. Yeah, your quote status is changed to approved because you approved all the approvals. And now if I go and preview, all are there, right? Good. So I can still see VP approval. You can again submit that for approval, but that is not the, because preview approval is just working. It will just show you like if you are eligible. It will not check like your latest screen, like if you already submitted or not, right? That reason, what you need to do in my company, we added some validation rule. If your status, approval status is approved, you should not say, you cannot change the button of submit for approval. So you cannot change, click on this button. So that is the validation rule you need to add. That's the one point I want to highlight. So it will not check. Preview means it will check what is your criteria. Are you eligible for that approval? That's it. It will not check like it's already generated or approved. So what you need to do in that case, you need to add one validation rule. Your approval status is approved. You should not click on submit for approval again. Correct? Any questions as of now? And if I click on recall now, it's approved. But if I click on recall, your status will change to recalled, right? Status is changed to recalled. And you can now submit to the approval again. Got it? So what I will do now, is there any questions before I ask anything? So we discuss approval rule, then approval conditions, then approval chains, and then smart approvals. I will come back. Approval fields, approver, we discuss approver. So these are the all objects actually, right? Any
No
questions as of
questions,
now?
Rahul. No questions from my end. But I think this is good work around to implement a validation rule.
Correct.
While this, to disable the button itself if it is approved or rejected.
Correct.
This way, at least we can control it.
We should not control it, yes, because this is third party, right? Something you need to manage from our side as well. It's not like supporting CPQ. It's just they created because if someone want more functionality, they can use that. That's the only intention, nothing else. That's the reason I'm also explaining from high level. I'm explaining all the details, but at least I cannot explain each and everything now, right? So
It's
I'm just
kind of
explaining because
add-on tool basically.
exactly. So what I will do now, I will just create this as fresh code now. I will delete everything and we'll go to the stepwise approvals as well. I will use, it's like, it will not take more than 2 minutes actually. So I just want to complete that. So it's okay. So what Nutan explained just before, if you have stepwise approval means VP should approve, then your UVP, then SVP and HR. How you will achieve that? So what my answer was, you can create same chain and use that. So what I will do, I will clone this approval. What three things will change? Your approach step, this is my first step. So second step will be EVP, third step will be SVP, and your chain will be same. Only the thing will change is your step. VP 1 step, EVP 2 step, HR 3 step. All of the things will be remain as it is. Maybe your approver can change. For EVP, you want someone EVP from EVP team can approve. So these things you can change. So what I will do, I will just clone instead of creating new. So I will just clone this VP approval. So instead of VP, what I will say, this is my EVP approval. My approval step is 2. My chain will remain as it is. Your approver will change. So what you will change, you can create your new approver, that EVP approver. So you can give your name of the user. I will again say Rahul because maybe I can select Raju, but that's fine. And I will say save. Right. So I created another approval with the step 2. No change. If you compare here, only the step is changed and your name is changed. But you will see the magic now, right? So I have two approvals now. One is VP, another is EVP with the step change. Same chain is using. Now if I go to the preview approval here, what it will display? It will display both the approvals, step 1 and step 2. You can see step 1 approval is VP approval and step 2 approval is EVP approval. Correct? It is assigned to Rajiv. This is assigned to Rahul. If I return back to code, if I submit it again, you will see the magic now. So if I submit this for approval, right? So you will see your status is changed to pending. And if you go to the related list, nothing created. Let me refresh. It's approved, active, right? Okay. It may take some time to create. We just need to refresh the screen. Nothing else. Right. So both the approvals are created here. If I open both the approvals now by clicking these links, I'm just opening this. So this is my first approval. That name of approval is VP and it's in requested state. Requested state means you can go and approve that. But if you go to the another approval that is created, that is EVP. EVP, it's in assigned state. Assigned state means you are not allowed to approve now. That's an assigned state. If you go and approve that before your VP, VP is your first step, EVP is your second step. But if you directly go and approve this particular thing, Salesforce will not allow. This approval request is not active. This request has been assigned. Action can only be taken on approval in requested status. So we'll get all these errors. correct? If you cancel that, oh, it's come back to the code. Let me open that approval again, EVP approval. This is my EVP. Okay. I will show you the change. It is an assigned status. So if I go and approve the first approval now, it's in requested status. If I approve that, so you can only approve the approval in requested set. So if I approve this, Salesforce advanced approval is smart enough to change your second step to requested state. So you will see the change in status if I refresh this now. EVP, right? It's in requested state now automatically. Now you can go and approve it. It will not throw any error. This is how you can implement your stepwise approvals as well. The only thing is you need to use same approval chain and your approval step. That's the only two things you need to make sure. Other things are very similar. You got it? Or any confusion on step approval as well? That is we are
I
calling
got
sequential, right?
it,
Okay,
Rahul. Thank you.
perfect. Yeah, perfect. Anyone has any questions? It took more 30 minutes, but that's fine. Because what my planning is, like I will clearly mention it, like I'm very open-minded person. On Monday onwards, like we are actually starting with the next batch, and even I'm busy with Salesforce billing project and all these things. So that's the reason I will not give more time in next week, but at least if you take the Saturday, Sunday, so we can cover that syllabus. That is my intention. If you can support that, right? Obviously I will be there. My planning is, if you have any questions next Saturday, Sunday, you can prepare all the assignment, you can take your all questions and will come back and reach out to me on Saturday, Sunday. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just saying, just help me to complete the syllabus. Means today we completed advanced approval. That is my complementary topic. It's from nothing to do with the CPQ. So Salesforce billing is also there is one of the topic. Only the thing is, like pending from us is Salesforce CPQ package level setting. If you can support tomorrow for 1.30 minutes, 1.5 hour, it will not take more hours because this is package level setting, CPQ package level setting. We understood all the concept. Most of the fields from package level we discussed as well, but I want to go ahead and explain each and every package level setting to you. So in future, you should not mention that Rahul has not explained these things. So if you join any company, if you go to the package level setting, you should understand how to install package and how to do the configuration. That is my last topic tomorrow, right? So if you can support tomorrow, so at least we can today, tomorrow, end of day, I can say like syllabus is completed, and you can take 1 week complete. I think you should need that time, I think, because we are just taking syllabus. I can complete that syllabus, but you need one more week to practice these things, learn these things, and on Saturday you can reach out to our admins and you can plan the same timing on Saturday, Sunday next to just for question answering as well, right? Even in between as well, if you feel like we need on Wednesday, I need one stop session, you can just ask to our admins. They can ask me if I am free there 17 or 18th, I can schedule in between as well. But I feel like you can take your all questions, prepare all your assignment, complete those assignment, listen to the recordings again, and then you can come up with the 20th or 21st next Saturday, Sunday. This is what my feeling. Even when I'm learning, I feel like that. So I'm not going anywhere. Even if you ask me on 28th as well, if you have any question, I'm there. But just need Saturday, Sunday to plan these things. So we can, because weekdays like is totally blocked. We are actually doing, in my company, we are actually doing Salesforce billing migration from one of the billing systems. So there I'm also learning there. So there are different things. That's fine, but okay, Nutan is okay with weekends. We don't need more time now because at least tomorrow we can end complete the syllabus. Salesforce CPQ package setting we can complete tomorrow, and next weekend I can explain Salesforce billing and even your question answering and everything. Salesforce billing is not that much bigger level topic. I will just give you the why we need Salesforce billing. So that is the architecture diagram I want to just explain to you. So it will help you in future. Just want to uh, just want to, you can add Salesforce billing topic in your resume as well in future. That's my intention. So the thing is, even I am from that background, right? I have everything in my resume. I have a Salesforce admin, I have Salesforce development, I have Salesforce CPQ, Salesforce billing, and there is Zora billing system. So all this and Oracle. So all this Oracle, I don't have that much, but at least high level. So all these things you have code to cache add. So that is the intention, right? When I'm explaining these things, install.steelbrick.com. If you go to this link, I'm learning all the things as well. I'm just, if you say Salesforce code to cache architect, then you need to understand all these systems. It's not like just CPQ. In future you can plan. I'm not saying now you will get job everything CPQ, you will get code package. There is no issue. But in future you need to understand CPQ, Service Cloud, Adobe Sign, documents. And even I'm not sure on this package actually. I need to learn these things. But at least billing, Salesforce billing is very, very, very important. It's coming in future. We have very good packages for billing as well. But no one, like there are no like only a few clients are there, those are using billing. So you cannot, you don't, I will suggest like don't start with billing now. You can start admin, coding, and CPQ. That's it. Your career is set, and after that you can start learning on advanced packages as well. But at least admin, coding, and coding is also not required now, but at least admin and CPQ is must to join any company. Any questions? Thanks, Nutan, for commenting. But that's fine. Like we should do something then and then. Someone will respect you and give you some more amount, right? But our hard work is very important. Yeah.
Correct, correct. But Rahul, here in this meeting, I feel like it's only you and me. We are talking, and sometimes Kanchana. I haven't heard anyone else. I don't know. Is it like we are interrupting too much?
No. I mean, like I feel real good. Even the scenario that you explained, I have taken that notes now. How we can achieve. I know like customization we can do, but advanced approval is not doing that. Means as you explained, like one approval is approved, then second, how we can notify those users. So these types of things you will learn. It's not like it's learning experience for everyone. So everyone should ask question, but when you can ask question, if you're practicing those things. If you're not practicing these things, you cannot ask, you cannot understand. You will understood whatever I'm explaining is good because I know everything I'm explaining. Maybe I have good skill to explain these things. That then you are not getting question. That is the one side. And another side, you're just learning and you just need basic, right? Maybe for example, if anyone is from more than 10 years or 12 years, they don't need actual development knowledge. If they are managers or they are architect side or they are BAs, right? Business analyst, right? They don't need this type of knowledge. They just need a high level idea. That's the reason few people are not asking questions. They don't need that knowledge. Why they need like how to set up approval rule? They just need like we have approval rule concept. Why you are not using that? That's the point they can ask in meeting to all developers if you are BA and managers. So it's multiple things based on your roles. You can change your I mean your interest as well. But that's fine. Any questions? And sorry for taking more time today. It's like 11 here, but that's fine. So tomorrow I will try to complete in 1 hour if that package level setting, but if it is not completed, even that is fine. We can take next week as well. I'm not saying like complete week I'm not available. If the syllabus is pending, I can take session on Monday, Tuesday as well. It's not like that. But if you are completing, that's my target from day first. I'm saying 15th of March, I will be completing the syllabus because I know like how much sessions we need and we are on track. Actually, we can easily finish on last week as well, but I think I missed few sessions, so I was not able to attend those, at least few sessions. That's the reason, but that's fine. Okay, so tomorrow same time, Kanchana, Nutan, Tejasri, Srinivas, are you guys okay for tomorrow same time?
I'm okay, Rahul.
Okay, Kanchana,
I'm okay too.
Tejasri, and Srinivas, you there? Okay. Okay, that's fine. So tomorrow, same time, I mean 9:30, we can connect and we'll continue our last topic, package level setting. I will explain few things there from package side as well for CPQ. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Good night, everyone. Bye.